One morning, Gregor Samsa awoke from uneasy dreams to find himself transformed into a giant insect. Imagine waking up one day and discovering you've turned into an ugly, oversized bug. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? This bizarre premise comes from the Metamorphosis, a timeless masterpiece by Franz Kafka. Behind the surreal plot lies a deeply human exploration of existential dread, societal expectations, and self-worth. When I first read this book in middle school, I was struck by the cruelty and indifference of people. Years later, with life experiences and more reflection, the story reveals deeper truths about adulthood and our constant struggle with societal demands and personal identity. Gregor's transformation is not just a strange fantasy. It mirrors the reality many of us face in adulthood: the unrelenting pressure to perform. From the start, Gregor's life is a relentless grind. A routine of exhaustion. Waking up before sunrise, rushing to catch a train, working tirelessly, and surviving on irregular meals and little sleep had become his daily reality. Despite his dehumanizing schedule, Gregor never allowed himself a day off in 5 years. Even in crisis, work first. When he realizes his shocking transformation, his first thought is not fear or despair but anxiety over being late for work. This reaction speaks volumes about the oppressive weight of his responsibilities. Gregor's devotion to his job stems from the debt his family owes due to his father's failed business ventures. As the sole breadwinner, he sacrifices his well-being to support his parents and sister. But beneath this facade of responsibility is a stark truth. Gregor has become a prisoner to societal expectations and the demands of his family. Many of us live similar lives, burdened by the necessity of earning a living, meeting family expectations, and fulfilling societal roles. In this ceaseless pursuit of productivity, we often ignore our health and well-being. As Kafka poignantly illustrates, when we lose ourselves in the grind, we risk becoming cogs in a machine, with our humanity stripped away. The tragic cost of living for others. Gregor's transformation into a bug doesn't just alienate him from society, it isolates him from his family. The family's reaction: instead of seeking to understand or help Gregor, his family reacts with disgust and fear. His father chases him into his room with a cane, his mother screams for divine intervention, and his sister cries helplessly. Becoming a burden. Once the family's sole provider, Gregor now becomes a financial and emotional weight. His father takes a menial job, his mother sews to make ends meet, and his sister abandons her musical aspirations for a sales position. The family begins to treat Gregor with neglect and disdain. Gregor's plight highlights a harsh truth. Relationships based on utility can quickly turn cold when the perceived benefit disappears. The same family members who once depended on him now see him as expendable. Kafka's message is clear: living solely to please others can lead to exploitation and alienation. When you base your worth on external validation, you risk losing your identity and becoming disposable in the eyes of others. The trap of unrealistic expectations. Throughout his life, Gregor internalized the expectations of his family and society, pushing himself to the brink to meet their demands. But these sacrifices only led to unfulfilled dreams. Gregor worked tirelessly to pay off his family's debts and support their aspirations, leaving no room for his own desires or personal growth. Exploitation in the name of love. His family became accustomed to relying on him, taking his sacrifices for granted. When he could no longer provide, their love and care dissipated. Many of us face similar challenges, striving to meet the expectations of parents, employers, or partners while neglecting our own happiness. As Kafka warns, this path often leads to resentment, burnout, and a profound sense of emptiness. Key lessons from the Metamorphosis. Prioritize your well-being. Your health and happiness should never be secondary to societal or familial demands. Remember, a job can replace you, but you cannot replace your well-being. Live authentically. Don't let others define your worth or dictate your choices. Pursue what truly matters to you, not what others expect from you. Balance relationships. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and reciprocity. If you find yourself giving endlessly without receiving support in return, reevaluate the dynamic. accept impermanence. As Gregor's story shows, roles and relationships can change over time. Learning to adapt and let go of unrealistic expectations is essential for personal growth. Face your truth. Denying your needs or identity for the sake of others will only lead to suffering. Embrace who you are and have the courage to live your truth. In the end, Gregor's tragic demise is a stark reminder of what happens when we live solely for others and neglect ourselves. His family, relieved by his death, begins to plan their future without him, showing the fleeting nature of relationships based on utility. Kafka's The Metamorphosis is more than a surreal tale. It's a mirror reflecting the pressures, sacrifices, and isolation that come with living a life dictated by others. As the author reminds us, the world is ours to define, and our happiness should not depend on the validation of others.